Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Good 5 Cent Cigar Newscast. I'm Ella Gerdts. Thank you so much for joining us. This week we head to the URI Dance Company Showcase, and of course Charlie Adams will have all things Rhody athletics covered in this week's Rhody Sports Corner. For our top story, the University of Rhode Island Dance Company hosted their Spring 2026 showcase last Saturday. Stephen Russo attended the event. Here's Stephen.
URI's Dance Company displayed their talents this weekend at Edwards Hall for their Spring 2026 recital, featuring both group and solo performances. URI's Dance Co. displayed talents across multiple areas of dance, including tap, jazz, and even a few hip-hop numbers and solo acts that were self-choreographed by the dancers themselves. They've been working on this all semester, but given all of the weather conditions, it was a bit challenging.
The most challenging to put together was my Thursday hip-hop routine, just because of the snow days, and we had 42 people in that routine, which is one of the biggest dances we've ever done, and I could not be more happy with the way that routine turned out, and I know everyone had a lot of fun doing it, and at the end of the day, that's what makes me happy as a teacher. Using a unique blend of both contemporary and classic dances, as well as music from all eras of music, ranging from the modern era to the 1960s, URI Dance Co. constructed an engaging performance for all in attendance. However, this would serve as the final performance for graduating seniors.
I'm filled with so much gratitude and grace, and I'm so grateful to have had this opportunity, and I wouldn't change the experience for the world. Of course, I wish I had a couple more semesters in me, but it was a beautiful ending and it was a beautiful show.
Although URI Dance Co. has concluded their catalog for this academic year, they will be back in action in the fall, and URI Dance Co. does not require new members to have any prior knowledge or teaching in order to join the club. So if you're interested, be sure to follow their Instagram at URI Dance Company. Reporting for the Good 5 Cent Cigar, I'm Stephen Russo. Back to you.
Thanks, Stephen. Looking ahead, here's what's going on next week at URI. Enjoy an end-of-the-year class celebration for the class of 2026 this Thursday from 3 to 4:30 p.m. at the International Center. The Surfrider Foundation will be hosting an end-of-the-year beach bash Saturday from 5 to 8 p.m. at Camp Cronin. Grab a towel and have fun. On Tuesday, Health Services is hosting Big College Field Day on the Quad from 11 to 2 p.m. Head to the Quad for a fun yard game, free food, and sunshine. To learn more about upcoming events on campus, visit URI Involved at uriinvolved.uri.edu. With that, I'll hand it off to Charlie Adams with this week's Rhody Sports Corner.
Thanks, Ella. Welcome back to the Rhody Sports Corner, your place for all the latest updates across URI athletics. I'm Charlie Adams. Men's Club Lacrosse celebrated Senior Day on Sunday against Columbia University, taking a 19-4 win led by 9 first-quarter goals. Gerard Villemenay has the story from Narragansett High School.
The University of Rhode Island's men's lacrosse team welcomed Columbia University to Narragansett High School on Sunday and defeated Columbia in a score of 19-4. After a 30-minute weather delay, the match started off with Rhode Island quickly having the upper hand.
Going into the game, I'm always confident in our guys, no matter who we're playing. The vibe in warm-ups was pretty good. It did stink that we got delayed for 30 minutes, and that kind of took some of our momentum away. Came out, we were playing fast, playing physical, which was good. We got a little sloppy there in the first quarter. We cleaned some things up, and we were able to respond pretty well.
By halftime, URI led Columbia 12-2.
So pretty happy with how he came out, pretty much punched him in the mouth right away, and the game was over after the first quarter. So
I felt like we did pretty good. Obviously a little sloppy, just little things, but other than that, I thought we played pretty good.
Rhode Island wrapped up the game, which led to Rhody securing a 2-game win streak. Reporting from Narragansett High School, my name is Gerard Villemenay with the Rhody Sports Corner. Back to you.
Thanks, Gerard. As for some other scores and results around campus this week, men's track and field took on the Yukon Northeast Challenge across Friday and Saturday, taking the top 5 spots in the long jump on Friday before Joachim Inu won the triple jump on Saturday at 14.74 meters. Women's track and field took home the team title at the Jim Kavanaugh Legacy Invitational in Worcester, Massachusetts on Saturday, finishing first of 5 teams. Women's rowing faced off against Bucknell and Cornell University at Cayuga Lake in New York on Saturday. The Rams won 2 of the 3 races against the Bison, but fell in all 4 races against the Big Red. Women's lacrosse worked a win on the road on Saturday against George Mason, taking down the Explorers 13-5. Men's golf got back in action for the final time in the regular season across Saturday and Sunday at the Rutherford Invitational, finishing 3rd of 13 teams. Women's tennis also wrapped up its regular season on Saturday against Fordham, taking a 4-0 sweep loss before opening the Atlantic 10 tournament in Florida on Wednesday as the number 6 seed against number 11 George Mason University. Baseball suffered a weekend sweep to St. Bonaventure, dropping Game 1 of Friday's doubleheader 7-4 before falling 15-13 in Game 2. On Saturday, the Rams wrapped up the series with a 5-4 loss. Rhode Island returned to action on Tuesday from Duncan Park in Hartford to take on the University of Connecticut, falling 9-5. Softball took on Fordham for its weekend series, being swept in its doubleheader on Saturday with a 7-1 loss followed by a 6-2 defeat. The Rams wrapped up the series on Sunday with a 5-4 win after a rain delay. The Rams took to the road to finish the week against Boston University in a 6-0 loss on Tuesday. After Abby LePage led last week's WrestleMania predictions, in this week's edition of Sparking Up, the Cigar sports staff and contributors made their mock drafts of the top 10 picks in this year's NFL Draft, with everyone agreeing that Fernando Mendoza will go number 1 overall to the Las Vegas Raiders. Now let's take a look at what's coming up next week on campus in sports. Women's lacrosse wraps up its regular season on Saturday from the URI soccer complex, taking on St. Joseph's for Senior Day at 1 p.m. Baseball will be at Bill Beck Field on Wednesday at 4 p.m. to face Brown University. To keep up with the biggest sports stories around campus on the go, tune into Cigar Sports Talk every Tuesday on Spotify. This week we talked about golf getting back on track, baseball taking a step back, and more. That's all for this week's edition of the Rhody Sports Corner. To stay updated with all things URI athletics, follow us on Instagram and X @_Cigar Sports. Back to you, Ella.
Thanks, Charlie. That's all we have for you this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Follow us on Instagram @Rhody Cigar and pick up our print paper anywhere on campus to stay up to date with all your Rhody news. You can also find us online at rhodycigar.com. Until next time, I'm your host, Ella Gerdts. This is the Good 5 Cent Cigar Newscast, and as always, have a great week, Rhody.